From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at Noon, streaming now.
They're still trying to figure out who killed baby Libby and Abby. New at noon, a new effort to get worldwide attention on the case in hopes of finding a suspect. Plus, what was said and when WRTV investigates is trying to get answers about the early days of the pandemic. But so far, the governor's office is holding on to key communications. Thanks for joining us for WRTV News at Noon. I'm Megan Shin. We'll start with Todd Clausen because it is a storm team alert day, Todd. And man, oh man, we expect some snow, I guess.
Yeah, you know, there's going to be these bursts of snow coming through later on this afternoon, Megan. But here's the key. It's only going to be in spots. I wish I could say it was just going to be a solid band of snow coming through so we could time it out for you, tell you everybody was going to get the snow. But that is not going to be the case here going forward throughout the remainder of the afternoon. Here's a live look in Bloomington, and you can see the darker clouds, which will start to produce some snow showers almost at any point. I've had a few flurries here in downtown Indianapolis, but you also see a little bit of blue sky that is out there as well. So especially if you're traveling multiple miles or a long distance here across central Indiana, just know things can change. A few snow showers starting to develop near Lafayette. I'll show you the bigger picture, and all this snow that is down here across parts of southern Illinois and in St. Louis, this is all going to rotate through as we go throughout the afternoon and into the evening hours. And some of those snow showers are approaching the Wabash River there as you work your way into western portions of the state. So look out for these snow showers. They could put down maybe a quick half an inch to an inch of snow, but the visibility is the bigger issue this afternoon if you are going to be out and about on the roadways. We'll talk more about the snow the rest of your weekend coming up, Megan, in just a couple minutes.
Thanks, Todd. And technology from a new app may help in finding the killer of two Delphi teenagers. The murders of Libby German and Abby Williams still remain unsolved till this day. WRTV investigates. Rafael Sanchez joins us this midday with details on the new effort to put the case in the global spotlight. Rafael, good afternoon.
Megan, good afternoon to you. In less than a month, February the 14th will mark 4 years since someone killed two of Delphi's daughters. Now, in the last hour or so, the app known as Crime Door released this virtual recreation highlighting the Delphi case. The 3D video allows people to walk virtually on the bridge where the girls encountered the man who is the suspect, the main suspect in this ongoing case. The deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German continue to spark interest around the world. Nearly 4 years later, the social media app Crime Door is setting out to get more people to take another look at this tragedy involving two girls walking along a wooded trail.
To be able to bring that kind of resolution and help families, I can't think of anything ever that would be more valuable that we could ever do.
Crime Door focuses on high-profile cases which remain unsolved, like the one involving 6-year-old John Benet Ramsey. The app, using augmented reality recreations, allows you to take a virtual walk into the basement where her body was found in her Colorado home. The same AR technology will be used on the Delphi case and provide people another tool to possibly spark memories or conversations that could lead to the killer.
This is really cool. This is going to be really good for families, my family as well. And we have a video that we can put out there, and this will help us get to more and more people.
Millions have already seen Libby's cell phone video, which recorded that image and audio of the possible suspect on the old Monon High Bridge. Based on that, police released a sketch of the suspect. The Delphi case will now join others that to this day continue to capture the nation's attention, whether it's the recreated virtual site where Beatles superstar John Lennon was shot and killed, or the infamous home where Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman were found dead in Los Angeles.
It's really all about understanding and bringing the user that extra sense. You can, do all the research in the world, but really being there and having a sense of presence really gives you the next dimension to really, experience what an investigator might have felt when they were there.
If you have any tips on the Delphi case, you can call Indiana State Police. The number there on your screen, 800-382-7537. There is still a reward in excess of $200,000 in this case. And tonight we'll have much more on this app right here on WRTV. Reporting live at noon, I'm Rafael Sanchez. Megan, now back to you in Studio A.
Rafael, thank you. New COVID-19 statistics just came out. They show that Indiana's numbers remain high, but they are not reaching the levels like we saw just last week. The state health department reported more than 4,700 new cases today. 42 deaths were also added to Indiana's total. That brings the state to 8,872 COVID-19 deaths since the pandemic began. And the state has also updated its vaccine dashboard. Almost 260,000 Hoosiers have now received at least the first dose of the coronavirus vaccine. More than 52,000 have been fully vaccinated so far. WRTV is dedicated to transparency as we try to get information from public officials about the pandemic. However, emails obtained by WRTV Investigates are raising more questions than answers. Last April, we submitted a public records request for emails to and from Governor Eric Holcomb and State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Box. It took the state 9 months to respond, and when they did, they only sent WRTV 6 emails. The governor's office claims the rest are exempt from disclosure. They say that's because they're, quote, advisory or deliberative material. Coming up at 6, you can watch the full report from WRTV Investigates' Kara Kenny. She tells us that she speaks with an expert on public records as she is working for you to get answers on how your elected officials responded during the early days of the pandemic. And we're learning more today about President-elect Joe Biden's plan for additional COVID-19 relief. The plan includes bigger stimulus checks, more aid for people who are unemployed or facing eviction, raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour, and additional support for small businesses, states, and local governments. It also includes increased funding for vaccinations and testing, plus more support to keep schools open. The package is expected to be introduced in Congress after Biden is inaugurated next week. And Roncalli High School now has a new nickname. The school was called the Rebels for more than 50 years since the school was founded in 1969. But last year, the school announced a task force to find a new name. Officials at the Catholic high school were concerned about people misunderstanding the nickname. Today, Roncalli announced the task force had chosen Royals as a new nickname. The school says it will spend the next few months to develop a new logo and mascot after getting more feedback from the Roncalli community. Teachers, taxes, and much more. Next, the governor talks school funding. While a new tax increase could be back on the table, it's all in this week's State House Roundup.
And as we go throughout the course of the afternoon and into the evening hours, we will be dealing with some snow showers making their way through central Indiana that could reduce visibility very quickly on the roadways and slicken the roadways up just a little bit. But here's the thing, not everybody's going to see them. We'll try to time it out for you using TrueCast hour by hour, coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast.
ABC's General Hospital.
Welcome back. Budget season has begun and state lawmakers are talking about taxes and tax revenue. But whether that means a bigger paycheck for teachers is still up in the air. Our Ray Steele has more in this week's State House Roundup.
This is a budget year. That means your state lawmakers are looking to holla for every dollar, as in money from you, the taxpayer. Some of those dollars are saying, now we go to school. But it's not as many dollars as teachers would like to see. This week, Governor Holcomb released his proposed 2-year budget. One big question, how much money would schools get? The answer? A 2% increase in funding for K-12 schools in the first year and a 1% boost over that for year number 2. There was no commitment to boosting teacher pay. That doesn't make the Indiana State Teachers Association happy. But if the goal is to hit the governor's own teacher pay commission recommendations, we know that would have cost $600 million. We're talking Jeff Bezos and Jim Irsay type money. With tax collections hit or miss during the pandemic, that ambiguity is leading to ambivalence for those who control the state's checkbook. The annual State House ritual is back. No, not the cursive writing bill. The governor actually scrawled his John Hancock on that one and made it a law last year. The other annual ritual, the call for a tax increase on cigarettes. Every year, most health officials in the state and many others call for the tax on smokes to be raised. Indiana, after all, has one of the worst smoking rates in the country, which lights up the state's public health costs. And every year, the Republican supermajority either lets the plan burn out or they snuff it out themselves and toss the butt in the trash. That isn't stopping the anti-tobacco troops from taking a deep breath and trying again.
We've been pushing for this for a while, in part because Indiana's health metrics are so bad across the board. So many things are linked back to Indiana's high smoking rate.
Their proposal is a $2 a pack tax hike. In a year in which tax revenue could possibly waft back and forth because of the economy, perhaps now will be the time lawmakers decide a nicotine boost isn't so bad. But that will depend on a group of lawmakers who have been more likely to say, smoke 'em if you got 'em, and less likely to make those packs more expensive. Working for you with State House Roundup, Ray Steele, WRTV.
Thanks, Ray. After waiting for months, they can finally say namaste. We'll show you the story of how a woman persevered through the pandemic to open her dream business in downtown Indiana. You're watching News at Noon on WRTV. We'll be right back after this break.
Your brain, better life.
Hundreds of businesses have closed over the last year due to the pandemic, but other entrepreneurs are opening shop for the first time. Our Kelsey Anderson spoke to a woman who's been waiting nearly a year to open her yoga studio in the heart of downtown.
Well, yoga has seen a big boom over the last year because of the peace it can bring to your mental health and overall stress. And that's why the owner of Yoga 6 in the Bollard District is excited to finally open her doors. Shay Rankin owns Yoga 6 Indianapolis. It's an all-inclusive hot yoga studio that she says provides a full sensory experience with lights and music that change throughout class to set the mood. This new endeavor, Rankin says, opening up a shop during the pandemic has had many struggles, including opening nearly 10 months after her expected date.
You know, were construction delays, and then we've really struggled with grassroots marketing has been the biggest hurdle, just not with much going on. We're not able to get into the community. That's been the hardest part. So when I pulled the trigger last year, over a year ago, you know, I was supposed to open in March. So here we are in December, so the delay has been happening for a while.
Because we are the Hiring Hoosiers station, I asked the folks at the Bottle Works District about possible careers. Right now, they have several job openings, and if you're interested in bringing your business to the district, they have several vacant spaces available. For more information on that, head to this story on the WRTV News app. Rankin says they are holding a special VIP weekend this weekend for all of their members, but they're hoping starting on Monday, they'll be able to start their first week of full classes. And for the first week, she says they'll be free. For more information, head over to WRTV.com. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. After a relatively mild January, it's finally starting to look more like winter across parts of the Midwest. Here's a look at some heavy snow coming down last night in Madison, Wisconsin. Blizzard-like conditions were also reported in Iowa. That snow is coming down in the midst of high wind gusts. And Todd, those wind gusts will really get you. And out here, hopefully you won't see quite as much snow.
Yeah, we won't see quite as much snow, and we won't have the wind gusts as strong as they saw off to our west, but it will get a little windy here, Megan, over the course of tonight and tomorrow, and some of us will see some snow showers across the area. I'll start you off down in the Bloomington area, and you can see here we have some dark clouds, which will eventually start to produce some of the snow showers across the area, and you also have a little bit of a blue sky as well. I'll change the view for you, and we'll go over into the Greencastle area, and you can see here, it's more of the same, some darker clouds and a little bit of a blue sky there as well. But things will be changing pretty quickly as we work our way throughout the course of the afternoon hours. And there's the view to the north where you can see, if you look closely there, it looks like there is a little bit of light snow that is falling. Now, temperatures right now are above freezing, so for the snow to stick on the roads and slicking them up, you'll need some very intense bursts, and I do think that will be a possibility here going forward. Notice the sunshine in many areas still from Indianapolis to the east, but I think we're going to start to ramp up these snow showers this afternoon, some already falling. As you make your way up into the Lebanon area, that's probably the snow shower that you were seeing on that tower camera to the north. And then also Delphi to Lafayette to Williamsport, some snow showers. And as we slide off to the south, there's a pretty good band of snow that is coming down just south of Sullivan. And all this is going to start to swing in this direction across central Indiana as the main area of low pressure heads our way. And this is a big area of low pressure, and that is just moving very, very slow. Now, when these storms move as slow as this one is, a lot of times it'll kind of snow itself out or rain itself out given whatever the temperatures are, and it'll start to weaken. That's why not everybody's going to see the snow going forward throughout the remainder of the day. It's going to be very spotty in nature, but where the snow does come down, it will be fairly intense, most likely, with 4 p.m. to about 8 p.m. The best opportunities for these bursts of snow. Lower visibility, I think, is probably the biggest issue, especially if you're on the interstate. It'd be blue sky in one spot, then all of a sudden, boom, you hit the snow shower and there's virtually no visibility. That's how we get a lot of those big pileups on the highway. So make sure you slow down if you see the darker clouds ahead or visibility reducing, and then some slick spots as well. Now, this is not just a one-day deal with this storm system. As I mentioned, it's moving slow. You see today how everything's pretty spotty in nature moving through central Indiana. So some of you don't even see any snow throughout the day today. But then more snow showers come through tomorrow. This is 2 p.m. on Saturday. And I do think tomorrow they're probably not as intense as they will be today, but they're also a little more widespread across the area. So tomorrow's a better opportunity for more people to get into the snow shower activity than we'll see today. Accumulations are still going to be very, very light. We're talking about an inch or less of snow, and that's over the course of today and into the day tomorrow. So it's not a big snow for us, but now, big snow doesn't always need to happen to cause some issues. Watch out for those visibilities if you're going to be traveling here this afternoon, and then again throughout the day tomorrow. And of course, especially once the sun sets, that's when the roads can slicken up a little bit quicker. Not too concerned about them here this afternoon, Megan, with temperatures still above freezing.
Definitely take it easy on the roads, Todd. Thank you. And the Indiana Pacers have won 2 out of 3 games on their Western road trip, but they won't have a chance to go 4 for 5 before coming home. The Pacers beat the Portland Trailblazers last night, 111-87. But the team's next game is being postponed. The NBA says it's because of contact tracing. The Phoenix Suns will not have enough players available for tomorrow night's game against Indiana. That means the Pacers' next game will be Sunday against the LA Clippers. IU will also have an off day this Sunday. The team was supposed to be on the road taking on Michigan State, but that Big Ten matchup has been postponed because of COVID-19 issues within the Michigan State program. No makeup date for the game has been announced yet. IU could perhaps use the time off. They were upset at home by the Purdue Boilermakers last night, 81-69. IU's next scheduled game is next Thursday on the road in Iowa. And COVID concerns are also impacting the Indy Fuel. The team's home game tonight and tomorrow are being postponed. They were scheduled to play against the Wheeling Nailers, but the Nailers have multiple confirmed COVID-19 cases. The games are being rescheduled for April 2nd and 3rd. Fuel officials say fans who have tickets can keep them for those dates. And here's a live look outside. This is the tower cam overlooking downtown. There could be some snow on the way in the Storm Team Alert Day. We'll have one more check of your forecast with Todd Clausen. That's next. We'll be right back.
Only at Hardee's.
Here's a live look at your satellite radar picture, and it shows a large storm system that is going to be spreading some snow here into central Indiana this afternoon. My main concern will be for bursts of snow with a locally heavy intensity in some of these snow showers, reducing visibility and also putting down some minor accumulation. They should be the most numerous between about 4 and 8 p.m. More snow showers in the forecast for tomorrow. Megan.
Todd, thank you, and thanks for making WRTV your choice for news. Join us for more news at 5 o'clock. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you back here on Monday.